right, welcome to the Dragon's Tome, episode 95, issue 95. I am once again your host, Chopper, and I'm joined with the two leave extraordinary fellas, Rob and Jack. Please wave appropriately.
Hi, with my appropriate wave.
All right, so we are now in the month of, I can't even remember, March. My birthday. Hey, my birthday.
In
Yay.
1985. How old would you have been?
1985. Oh, I was maybe 15.
Jeez.
Yeah. So here we are on this weird cover.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
Dean Morrissey.
yeah, I was going to see who was it. Dean Morrissey. They got some good things to say about Dean Morrissey in this thing.
I remember these many months ago when we started this show, someone had posted this cover and asked our opinions and said there was something hidden in there. And I don't think we ever came to any conclusions. And when I looked up the cover again, it said there was something mysterious happening. Uh, I don't know what they're talking about.
It seems like there's a bottle hidden in that guy's helmet by that guy's weird hand.
Is that the hidden thing?
I don't know. I just
Oh
noticed
yeah,
it.
I do see that. Also, the bar across the way is bicycle, as in cards.
Oh yeah, it looks like
So,
it's the actual logo.
but I don't understand. There's a lot of mysterious things here. It's a weird pawn shop in a sort of fantasy world, but the guy's dressed like it's
Yeah.
70s. I'm so
Well,
confused.
the guy looks like Pedro Pascal, just as Marlon Brando in that one biker movie. His
Oh yes.
The guy
What was
across the
that
street by
called?
the bar he looks like he's one of the Bee Gees.
The guy with the trumpet does not have the appropriate number of fingers. Is that it?
well, if you look at the
It's
thing, it
AI.
says.
Maybe it's AI picture back in
Well, the thing is, you trade
1985.
in your old brass for armor. It looks like he's trading in his trumpet for a helmet with
Oh, get it?
with wine in it.
Get it?
Oh,
Let's see your old brass for armor. So he's trading in a horn for armor.
so if would it be Tijuana brass? Could this possibly be one Mister Elpert?
Dun, 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 dun,
Herb
dun.
Alfred.
Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass.
Could be.
That was what I was saying.
It's such a
Uh,
weird picture.
it is a weird. It's weird. I mean, it's not a bad looking cover, but everyone's proportions are weird. Like this guy's hand is weird. This guy's legs are not proportional to his torso.
He's very. He's what is that?
He's very leggy,
Crumb.
and he's got very big feet.
I can't see his feet. Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you scroll way down, you can see his feet. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Does he have rhinestones? Can I see his sock through his foot? Through
You
his.
can see the sports sock through
oh
his
yeah, I didn't even notice the hole. There you go.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe someone now will be able to tell us what it was
Yeah.
they were referencing.
Maybe
But
this armor has got a mechanical leg because if you look at his ankle,
It
it
doesn't.
looks.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
I don't know what it is either.
Who knows? If you
armor
know,
spelt incorrectly, that could be it. I know Webster of
Mm,
Webster Dictionary fame, who did more damage to the English language than I think Ebonics and a bad lisp put together. Um, yeah, I think that must be it. Armor Smith.
if anyone knows, please comment below.
yeah, please. I'm interested to know what it is. All right, so enough with the cover. Let's move on to our ads.
Ads? We're skipping everything. We're going right
Let's
to
just
ads.
go start. Let's flip the script and go ads and then articles.
You know me. I'm down to clown. You want to do ads first?
Mm,
We'll do it.
you,
You want to
Jack,
do
or
ads?
not? You are so rules ridden. But since I disparaged you on air with your famously good looking coffee mug, campfire mug,
It is.
why
It makes everything taste delicious.
why don't you start off with your first ad, my friend?
Okay.
I keep my scissors in my campfire mug. It showed, but it would probably knock a ton of crap over. So.
Also, a odd non sequitur, just as I had begun to speak during the time allotted to me. Like it was a.
You mentioned the mug. I'm looking right at it. It's just full of scissors. I don't know what to say.
I'm looking right at it.
This is why my episodes are always longer than 30 minutes.
No, Jack's are the long episodes. We know that. Mine are short.
No,
Mine are short
no.
to the quick. There's no funny business.
Okay, well then, if we could please, page 11, we're going to do a
11. 11's halfway through an ad, or halfway
That
through a
would be
story,
that'd be 13 then.
or 10. What are you going to?
it is good news department. It is midway through
Oh, okay.
the
Yes.
Oh, okay.
it's
you're
an
doing
odd
part of
layout
the thing.
for the Sorcerer's Scroll. Yes, a big portion of it is for demi-humans,
Yeah.
their ranking, but the
This
good
is
news
one
department.
Of mine, one of mine also.
Oh, okay. So you went from not knowing what I was talking to now latching on like a lamprey of sorts. That's
The ecology
shocking.
of.
So it says it's time to get rid of a pain in the neck, as I'm sure you're with all of your worthy enthusiasts will agree. Okay, what's this about? It is about the upcoming release of something that we've been teasing for a while, not knowing exactly when it was going to rear its ugly head, but it has now. Unearthed Arcana has been now mentioned. It's a for those not in the know, it is a kind of a Dragon magazine best of condensed into official.
Yeah, it's like a.
I think it's a supplement. I think it's it's
2.5
like a
of
supplement.
D&D, really.
Yeah, or 1.5.
No, we're in. Oh yeah, 1.5. Yeah, we're not
1.5. So this is basically the expansion of the DM's Guide and Player's Handbook to include every Dragon magazine article
that Gygax wrote. And he says some other ones, but mostly it's Gygax stuff. But it's making things official like barbarians and Cavaliers and Thief Acrobat.
Which I think we made fun of.
Well, I don't think we made fun of the official one. Maybe for somebody else's one, but.
And I would have taken umbrage with that, but yes, I remember when Unearthed Arcana came out. It was a breath of fresh air. It was one of those things that was almost mythical because it.
Well, I think this rumor of it coming. I don't think it comes for quite a while now, though. Does it?
I think it comes out 86 or 87, right?
I'm gonna look it up now. Keep vamping.
But I will say that I'm glad to see that it's coming, and I'm glad to see that they're putting
it does come out in 85. So.
All right, but I just remember that barbarian was something of a piece of broken work.
That's after they fixed it.
No, the original barbarian from Arthur Arcana.
No, I'm saying after they fixed it from the magazine. He put it in the magazine, and everybody was like, "This doesn't work. It's broken." And then he put it into Arthur Arcana. It was still broken.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I played it, and it. That thing.
Barbarian really even 5e is broken too. Like it's been broken all the way through. Yeah,
especially when you.
It's got a little too much power for what it.
What is it? 10%? I think there was like a 10% chance that magic doesn't affect you.
Well, originally it was magic doesn't affect you. Like it was the original one was you're totally.
It was something weird, and I just remember that saved my butt many a time.
But it's Unearthed Arcana is fun, but it's also very messy and very. Problematic, we could say, because there's a lot of issues in that book that causes people.
I'm thinking, as we're talking about it, I'm thinking, was it problematic back then, or do we just know it to be problematic now?
No, I think when it comes out, we'll see a bunch of like FAQs and like, what the, how's this?
Yeah, because I honestly don't remember.
I don't remember it at the time, but I remember them.
I remember using it, and I don't remember complaining a lot of about it, other than going, "This barbarian can never die."
Yeah. I don't even think we used it even that much. It was
kind of a mythical thing, but before we got one, everyone kind of knew it existed, but no one really knew. And the stuff that was in it was interesting, magic items and like that. But yeah, Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
All right. Rob, what part of this article did you do? Let's move on to you next then.
Well, it's part of that one, but it was also the the next part where he's film survey update.
So we're talking about everything but the class limit.
Oh no, screw that. But the film survey update.
Well, all right. I'm gonna mention it after you're done talking. Go ahead.
Okay. He says he's still working on movies as well as a cartoon and Amazing Stories, which I had no idea that Gygax and TSR had anything to do with Amazing Stories, but I guess they did. And
you said that last time too.
No, last time I was like amazed Amazing Stories had anything to do with the magazine. But now I'm amazed that Gygax has anything to do with it too, because that's Spielbergo. You'd think he would have gotten Spielbergo to do a D&D movie then. But he also walks back on his hate of origins.
Did we just turn Steven Spielberg into an Italian?
That's from Simpsons.
That's a classic Simpsons reference.
But the main thing is he goes off on Tolkien and the influence that Tolkien had. Oh no, that's the next one. Sorry, that's the next article.
Yeah, that's a different one.
No,
sorry,
that's a different one because I did that article also.
Okay, that's not what I'm going to talk about. Then that was just about the other things that he's working on movies still, and that movie. When's the first D&D movie? Didn't come out to at least the 90s, right?
Yes.
I think it's at least the 90s. So
with what's his name?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
And one of the Wayans brothers. Is that the same one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the Wayans brother. Was in that too?
Yeah.
We just talked about this.
None of us have memories. We all have terrible memories. Anyways, that was us. I want to talk about the cartoon. They never really mentioned the cartoon in the magazine either, which you'd think that would have been a big news. Hey, there's a D&D cartoon, but
or at least throw some ads in there for
something. But no, nothing. I was amazed that I thought the cartoon hadn't come out yet. That's why. And then he mentions it. I'm like, oh, unless he's just talking about pre-production or something of it. But it sounded like it was on.
So while this isn't my article, I just do want to make mention that to bring this list up as you're looking at this list of the magazine, know that this list is wrong, because you will find out in future reference in an editor letter.
Which list?
This level list.
Oh, for the dwarves
for everything. It was transcribed wrong.
Yeah. So none of this means anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So while the article is there, none of these charts are correct.
Yeah.
And you'll find in an editor's note, I think next issue.
Yeah.
They talk about it.
Well, for those of us who do not read ahead, I prepare my shock face.
Okay. Huh? Well, I just want to make mention because we skipped every part of that.
Since we didn't talk about it, we didn't. If we do mention the letter coming up, I can't remember the letter. Anyways, that's all.
You're planting the seeds. You're putting some plot points. I get it.
So we are now going to go to my article, which is on page 14, which is where Rob left off.
Yeah.
And I will start. It's just basically an article by Mr. Gygax. And it started out really nice. It started out listing his early influences, as far back as Poe to Micah Moorcock. And then he goes on to say why, like in Howard, any of those guys, and all the pulps.
Yeah.
But that's well documented. He likes the pulps.
But then he starts on Tolkien.
Well, then the thing is, it's not. He doesn't just continually bash on Tolkien. He says why he doesn't like the series. He says it was tedious. But again, that is also an argument I've heard from many people who don't like Lord of the Rings itself. That said, it just takes too long. It just drags on. And even what's-his-face made jokes. I was watching a Graham Norton show, and Tome, what's his name? Not Tobey Maguire. The guy who played Frodo.
Frodo.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget his name, but he was talking. He was backstage at the Oscars. Blurt it out when you remember. He was at the backstage at the Oscars with Jack Nicholson, and he asked him. He goes, "Hey, what happened at the end of that movie?" He goes, I walked out of that movie because it had too many endings.
Yeah, that's the movie. The movie has a lot of endings.
But the book would probably follows the same thing. It does, just kind of, it just keeps going and going. But I also liked Lord of the Rings.
Obviously,
I'm not one of the people that did.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I will just say the brass balls, the pure chutzpah to take the swings that Gary Gygax does against Tolkien, and it's so off base. It is such silly arguments that.
But he does. But if you read the article, he praises, but then he disparages in the next sentence. It's like, this is great, but then this is.
Oh, and then he's like, he just stole everything from all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, but
So, I mean, it's a typical Gary Gygax. I want to say good things, but then I'm going to say very bad things, and I'm going to say some more good things.
Well, then he also claimed they didn't steal Ents, Orcs, or Hobbits from Tolkien. Instead, he got it from the original sources. Yeah, you wouldn't have known about those original sources without Tolkien, there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said he only used Tolkien stuff to attract players originally. He didn't want to use it, but he was doing it
I wouldn't put it past him because if you're looking to get something in a fantasy base, why not?
What I think it is all shorthand. That's what it was. Of course he's using Tolkien because that's what everybody knows. And he also doesn't mention for being sued for using all that stuff either. He never mentions that in this article. He was sued and lost that he used all this stuff. So
yeah.
It's very hypocritical, I find, and because obviously it did influence his work. He just claims it didn't. It's like of course I see much more of Conan in D&D than I do Lord of the Rings. That's obvious.
Yeah, but I will also say that it's very well documented that he's very pulp by nature, and maybe he only read Lord of the Rings once.
Yeah, but still, it still influenced it.
Yeah,
elves and orcs and hobbits, and he even used the word hobbit. Like, it's not like halfling was an original thing. He had to change it to halfling.
Yeah.
Hobbits.
I don't care if he took it wholesale and changed his name to J.R.R. Gygax. When you say that Gandalf was weak and ineffectual, and just really just these wild statements, just to infuriate people.
That's what it seems like. He's a troll. He's trolling.
He's trolling.
I'm not going to be a troll in this sense, but Gandalf's a very key figure. But I always wondered what good were any of those wizards, like Saruman the White.
Gandalf saved with not to get into when he comes back as of Gandalf the White. He saves freaking Helm's Deep.
I understand, but as far as wizards go, I just always wondered what their actual power was.
And he also says, he said Sauron's ineffectual because he gets turned into gas at the end. It's like, well, that's the whole point of the book.
No, I mean he precludes that by saying though that the Sauron character was never really developed either, which I kind of agree on. I mean, he gets more development in the prequel series off Amazon than he did in any of the books.
Well, but the point is, it's just a giant evil guy. You don't need development. Well, Saruman's got the development. He's kind of the face of evil, where Sauron's so evil. It's like giving Satan development. You don't need to give him the fucking development.
What do we Spinal Tap this out? It's so black. It's black.
That's right. It could be none more black.
It can be none more black.
True.
All right, let's move on from this. Jack, what do you have next?
Oh, what do I have next? Well, I have to confess that was also mine. The influence of J.R.R. Tolkien.
And Jack only has 2 articles, so he's done.
So I, by the rules stated from upon high.
But now we're back to rules. Remember, he was down the clown earlier, but now we're back to rules.
I was lying before. Everyone knows it. I'm a stickler.
All right, then, since you didn't read the rest of the magazine, Jack or Rob, what do you got next?
Let's see. I got a lot of quick stuff, but let's go
I got a lot of articles here, but I did a few extra just in case you guys copied mine.
Mine are a lot of quick ones, but no, let's go back to page 5. Somebody, it's the letters, and somebody goes off on ads in the magazine, and Kim.
Oh yeah, I read that one.
Kim gets mad, but he has a surprisingly clear rebuttal. He's like, without ads, they wouldn't have this magazine, and the price for it would be like $12 instead of $3. So obviously we need ads. And personally, when I was a kid, especially those ads, that's why I bought the magazine, was to read all the amazing pictures. And
I agreed with Kim on this one. It was a good way of finding new things that you didn't know about.
Yeah, like the ads are content to me in this magazine, because back then it's not like we had the internet. We didn't know about all these other miniatures or games coming out.
Yeah, and not everyone can go to a convention.
And even if you did, you wanted to know what you're looking for, right? Like you would just be like, "Oh, I want to find this because I saw it in Dragon Magazine."
I definitely agree with Kim on this one.
Nowadays, we're so inundated with ads. I think ads get a bad rap, but back then they were necessary. Even today, they're necessary, I think. But
so far in Dragon Magazine, there's been a balance. It hasn't been obnoxious. If you buy a comic book today and you notice you get 3 pages of what you purchased and the rest's all just junk, this guy would lose his mind.
Comic books have always been bad like that.
but even the classic comic books, like at this time, were nothing like today. He would lose his mind if he saw what we get inundated with on a barrage constantly.
Well, that's just online, yeah, generally. But like I say, you wouldn't find out about stuff without ads. There's tons of things I would not know that existed without ads. So, anyways, it's Kim. We're on your side for once.
We're on your side. I don't think we're ever.
Hell freezes over once, and we're on your side.
That broken clock, we're right there with you.
That's right. The sun is shining on that dog's ass today.
All right, so let's move to page 20 then.
20.
Taxes.
Oh, really? You actually read this article?
I did. I mean, honestly, it was not a horrible article in itself because it was written as an interview, like Dragon Magazine was interviewing a monarch.
Pat is a sucker for a good narrative, but informative article.
But if you could make it in a story, make it entertaining, then, which is what this thing I found did.
Like the ecologies, it gives a little, breathes a little life into it.
I mean, I guess, and under the cuteness, it's just a nice article on how to charge people taxes when you're running a city adventure. And I also read in between the lines as another way to make sure your characters are not just sitting on mounds of platinum.
Yeah, it seems like a real issue back in these days that characters had way too much money.
Like I agree, because I remember that we used to have money galore.
I've never had a character that had too much money.
And it never got spent, but that was first edition. Second edition got a little bit better. We didn't have as much money.
I definitely never had a rich character. It was always just like, I'm scraping enough money to buy my next best armor. Like that's what I remember.
And reading between the lines, this is a good way of getting people to pay your money, because there's like all kinds of weird taxes, like sword taxes is listed in there.
I would find you have this high level character. Try to have a taxman try to take taxes from you.
yeah.
Well, a high level character can only, an army versus one guy.
I don't. In D&D, a single character can take on an army easily. They're all like, unless you're like statting them up, like they're all 0 levels. You just wipe through them.
Yeah, but it's numbers over there. Then eventually you run out.
One power word kill. That's all you need.
One power word kill.
Just wipes out everybody within 100-foot radius.
Just one anti-magic shell stops that.
But they have to know it's coming.
10 gold tax, or just go to war with a fiefdom. I know a lot of people who would choose the latter.
Oh yeah. You'd be running that fiefdom by the end, and you'd be the one trying to collect taxes.
Exactly. All right. Just a shout out for that one. Rob, you got any more?
Oh, I got tons. I would just go to 45, just to the Forgotten Realms thing. Is this the first time we've heard the words Forgotten Realms? I know we've had some teases about it, but is this like the first adventure in the Forgotten Realms?
I was going to... it is not. But I will also say that I did play this adventure.
But there's been no Forgotten Realms adventures or anything like.
No, published. This was a tournament. This is the first Forgotten Realms tournament adventure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like the first official Forgotten Realms product, I think. We haven't had any books or anything yet. I don't think.
That I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think we would have mentioned it. It would have been an ad.
But I remember playing this tournament in '84 at Gen Con in '84.
That's when it came out. Yep.
But I will also say that I don't remember much about it.
Well,
and that
was a long time ago.
Purposely did not read this article, hoping one of you guys would say something about it.
We can't remember Tobey Maguire's name or whoever it was.
Tobey Maguire. God bless.
There
it is.
Not Tobey
Maguire.
Not
Tobey Maguire.
You said Tobey Maguire. That's why I said it.
Oh, that's right.
No, it's Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood.
I didn't want to. I thought of it, but we had already changed over, and I was like, okay,
No, I'm the one that needs that callback. But I did not.
And the answer is yes.
Read this thing, and because I played it, and I thought we did not win, or I did not win.
They're renowned to be tough.
Spoilers.
These tournament adventures are renowned for being.
But I did go to the very end, and I looked at the characters, looking for the character I played, and I think this Cortle guy was the guy I played, the 6th level fighter.
Cortle. 50 hit points. Jeez. Pretty tough.
But then I did skip the end, and there is a scoring chart at the end of it.
Yeah, but even that, I think later on we find the scoring chart is wrong also. So, in a future magazine.
I almost brought up the scoring chart just as one of my ads because, and no one's going to bring it up, but Catherine Kerr has an article about why experience in D&D doesn't work.
That's
Is it
later.
Like 10. It's 10 pages,
and it's 45 pages long.
But that's coming up. Spoilers. That's not even in this magazine. It's not this magazine. It's in a future magazine.
You befuddled him.
Oh no! Credit where credit due is in this magazine. You're right.
Yes, like I don't want to. Maybe there's something else since I haven't read ahead. Maybe there's something else similar. So I don't want to say no, you're crazy. But now we can agree you're crazy. Yeah, it's 45 pages, and then you look down here, and Mr. Greenwood did a, I don't know what a 25 word thing that explains everything that she was bringing up as a scoring for a module.
Yeah, she was trying to find other ways to do. We never did this article, but she was trying to find other ways to give experience. And meanwhile,
there's no.
I didn't read it because it was very long. I just kind of skipped it.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm perusing my memory, and I think Forgotten Realms comes around 87, so 2 more years it actually becomes a.
Right now they're really focusing on Dragonlance is their thing, so I think Forgotten Realms comes after that.
So,
and I will say, in the 90s, the game that I wrote uses a scoring chart very similar to Mr. Greenwood's here, and I never owned this magazine, nor did I know.
That's what the Blood Bowl guy said too.
But it's a stripped down, easy way to deliver experience that doesn't rely on combat.
Once again, I don't think I've ever gotten experience in your game, so.
Oh, you.
All right, so let's move on to the next article, which should be on page 24, because we have to do it.
Yeah, I was amazed you didn't do this one already, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the ecology of the cockatrice. Dr. Greenwood hits us with another ecology.
Doctor.
This one, doctor? Yeah. Well, I'm just calling him Doc now because he's giving us all these ecologies. Long-time listener, long-time friend of the show.
Dr. Ed Greenwood, Esquire.
Yeah. Esquire. He owns land too.
He didn't
again, so this one starts off as another tale. I think all these ecologies are going to take the form of Elminster.
Yeah.
Giving a tale.
The good ones do, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is kind of his way now. I think they're all going to follow this format.
Yeah, the original ones were from another magazine, right? They were from
or they're excerpts, or excerpts from someone's tome. But this one starts with a nice tale of a racing ship captain who gets duped into using a whip with a cockatrice feather on it, so he turns all his crew into stone, all his rowers. And then it moves into the ecology, where there's like footnotes to the tale. Where males outnumber the females, and it's kind of just like a battle amongst the cockatrices for all the females.
I'm sure that's like what's it called? What are cockatrices based on? Peacocks.
Yes,
it's like peacocks.
When they touch, one thing I couldn't remember, and it reminded me as we're reading, is that it was they turned to stone touch. And one of the things that he does point out is that they can turn that power on and off at will, and it only works if you touch flesh. So if you're all armored up, you're good to go.
Oh, there you go.
But if you got torn jeans, you're pretty much...
You got to wear a full hazmat suit when you're fighting a
exactly. And one of the things that I didn't know, and I don't think anyone ever played it that way, but the cockatrices prefer to fly when attacking because they want to land on top of you and try and envelop you.
I was
with as much of their body.
I was thinking of his chickens, so I never.
Chickens, so do I, because they got the waddle and the thing on the. That's why it never occurred to me why they're not flying, but they can fly. It says they're good. They're not great flyers, but they can fly, and it would make sense that if you turn people to stone by just touching them, why wouldn't you want to fly and land on them?
But the question is, what do they taste like?
Chicken.
Everything kind of does taste like chicken.
Yeah. Like gamey chicken. But one of the things I thought was interesting is that apparently you can use a feather from a cockatrice to turn people to stone.
That seems pretty powerful.
Yeah. So.
Because you kill one of those guys, there's a lot of feathers.
Oh yeah, and so.
Is it one use, or can you keep using it?
Well, according to the tale in the story, is the race captain was whipping his rowers, and he couldn't figure out why they would stop rowing, because he was turning the stone every time he whipped them because there was a feather at the end of the whip.
So that's super powerful.
Yeah.
But also quite dangerous. You could accidentally graze yourself, and then
it's like having a lightsaber.
Especially if you're not good at whipping. But now whip it good. Dun, 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 dun.
Last episode was the musical episode. We can't make that a thing.
Right.
We were thanked quite prolifically.
I forgot about that.
But yes, it can't be devoing.
No, it was just a shout out.
Devolving.
Okay.
All right, so Rob, what else you got? I got just like a couple more, but they're just really shout outs.
Yeah, me too.
Anything else.
I got some quick ones. Page 32, maybe.
Oh, that was one of mine.
Yeah, this is prices for the Roaring Twenties. This is something that Call of Cthulhu, all the later editions pretty much have in the book. So
yeah.
I guess the original first edition, I guess, didn't have it. So this is all prices for things in the 30s, which is super useful when you're trying to play a game in the 20s and 30s or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what I put. It was a nice little item price list if you're playing 20s Cthulhu.
Yeah, and other games, they mention other games because they have what's that?
Gangster or Gangbusters.
Gangbusters, yeah. But yeah, this is something that Call of Cthulhu is in their main books now, so you don't even need it.
But back in the day. Back in 1985.
Useful.
Very good.
Yep.
And then my last shout out is on page 73.
You always have to do a
the Zuricator. Yeah.
Your Star Frontiers Weird Nights.
Because I'm 100% deep in Star Frontiers at this point in my life.
Now or then?
Then.
Both.
But I don't get to play enough Star Frontiers because we're knee deep in Cthulhu right now.
It's true.
So this is an insect race for the Nighthawks space battle game, and I'm going to print all this up and add it to my little box set and put it in there, so it will be part of a fleet that you can play. It gives you even some scenarios to play, and it gives you a bunch of ships to use. So.
Zuricator.
Insect race. Insect.
Why do the insects always start with a Z?
Yeah, but there's also another insect race in... I wish I could remember what they were called in Star Frontiers, but my memory is like Rob's. It's very fleeting at this point in my life.
Yeah, I remember something from like the 50s, but I don't remember yesterday. So.
All right. I'm tapped out now, Rob. Whatever you got left is all you.
I will say just right past here is they do Marvel File for Iron Man with Rhodey Rhodes Iron Man, which is always fun.
Is this the part when he is now in rehab?
Yeah, I think he didn't want to use the armor because it was too dangerous. So yeah, he gave it to Rhodey to use, and he was his like bodyguard / yeah.
Yeah. I remember at some point he goes into rehab for his alcoholism.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the time. My real next one would be on page 70, I believe. It's Coming Attractions. This one has a few in here. First of all, Battle Systems. Remember we were talking about this miniature game that for D&D that they've been promoting forever? It's finally out. Battle Systems is out. I remember the cover. I don't know if I ever played it.
I will talk more about this at a future date.
Okay. And the other thing here is Project Wide Awake, which is a module for Marvel superheroes with the X-Men, and I'm pretty sure this is the first X-Men thing I had. Or first Marvel superhero things I had. It's because I had the X-Men.
Oh yeah, it's number 5 though. So
yeah.
What's the Alpha Flight one that I got you, Jack? What number is that one?
Oh, I could go get it.
Well, not if you have to get up.
No,
he doesn't have it on hand.
Yeah, he doesn't have all the stuff at Hammer's reach like the rest of us.
No, I don't have it in a Mantic campfire mug, so I could just bring it up at any point in time.
All right.
My last
Robin,
thing. Yep.
What else you got?
Not page 99, I think? No. Page... Where is it? There it is.
It's only 100.
Page 95. And I thought this was hilarious because it's Dragon Mirth, and it's a wizard with a calculator as they're falling, and it says he's calculating falling damage. And I thought that's a final little just plug on the whole falling damage thing.
The nail in the coffin to our falling damage tirade.
I saw that and I was like, ha ha. That's funny. That's it.
That is kind of funny.
That's it for me.
All right, let's go to some ads. So, Jack, would you like to start the ads, or would you like us to come back to you? Because I know you only have one.
I'm back in the pod, as I should. That is the rule.
I only have one. Jack, I'm with you. I only have one ad.
Okay.
I have two. Go ahead, Jack. Start it up.
Let's go to page 19, please.
19.
All right, this is my ad. My thing is, what the fuck?
This looks to me, and I might be out of pocket here, this looks to me like a role-playing game, but done with Christian...
A recruitment tool. Is that what you're saying, Jack?
Yeah.
No, I probably the spoonful of sugar for the satanic panic moms out there. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but
it's for the guys who are Christians that don't believe D&D is satanic-ish.
Yeah, but this is why would they play D&D though? But
well, I mean, you label it, a Christian thing that people.
I think it does have adventure learning. I don't even know what the game is called. Adventure learning system, I guess. That's who makes.
Well, they call it because you're not. As I read this, you're not an adventurer or a fighter. You're a light raider.
Dragon Raid is what the actual thing's called.
Yeah, you're a light raider.
It's right at the top. Christians learn how to fight at the gates of hell.
And we all know that there was, Christian heavy metal, Christian rock bands, and the like, and it is a thing. You take something that maybe your faith is a little questionable on, or the view of your evangelical parents, and you put a little the Holy Spirit in there, and it makes it okay. So yeah. I think that's what this is. I've never heard of it.
I haven't heard about it either, and I don't remember seeing it, but I do agree with you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
You rub a little Bible on it, and it makes it better.
Yeah, it's definitely the Christianization.
It's like adding a little bit of cumin to your soup.
I'm a lot more cynical than Jack's take, but yeah, that's all it is. It's jumping on a bandwagon.
You're thinking grift? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm thinking much griftier.
So this is the only article you got too?
Yep, this is my only article. That was my.
So it's all me then.
Well, yep.
All right, so let's go to number 2.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one, but we already talked about before. But this is a nice color one.
I do this because it's full page ad, but this is the edition of Talisman that I have in my closet, along with the earlier version of the Fantasy Flight that came with the figs.
I have to say that the warrior, that's misleading. He rolls 2 dice in combat, but he only gets to use the highest one. He doesn't get to keep them both. He's not a human flail. What the hell?
Maybe in this edition he does get to roll.
Yeah, maybe they nerfed him later. Maybe.
So, but I do remember. I still have this, and I don't move it much around because the box has been pretty beat up.
I'm sure the quality of box wasn't the best.
Yeah, well, that box has been through a lot because I've had it since the beginning.
40
characters. Years of moving.
Yeah.
14 characters in the first box. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and they're all standees. They're all standees like this.
Yeah. I like how you could see part of the board, and it looks so funny. It's like, yeah. I wish the video game had an option to use this board. Because it's got all the rules on it. Like, I
think at one point you can use the old board.
Well, they have the old board now, but it's not this old. And then they have the super new board, which looks terrible.
So I mention this because I do have this version of the game.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then let's go to my last ad, which is page 6, to continue what Rob was saying.
Battle system, oh yeah.
Battle system.
The official ad.
When you were saying it was going to be later, I assumed a later magazine. This is
later in the ads.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, but this is the first edition. For the first edition D&D miniature combat system.
It doesn't even have the cover. Like, they haven't shown the cover yet, so it must be pretty new.
It comes, I think it comes back.
Yeah. There's an ad with the actual cover, which I remember.
And But I remember this one because it used counters and miniatures to represent troops and leaders. So like one miniature would represent like 10 or 20 troop, and then the leader would be just the leader. But the second edition goes away from the counters and focuses more on the minis, which like was made system. For, but it was made for second edition D&D later on down the line. But I know in the first edition you're able to port any creature from the monster manual using the XP list for point values, whatever their XP point list is, if I remember right. That's pretty much all I remember about battle systems. I don't remember what the die rolls were. I do know that THAC0 was used to hit.
Oh.
But I don't remember much more than that, other than miniatures and counters represent either one hero, leader, or commander, and then like 10 or 20 troops. I can't remember what the number was. So, but this is, you saw them coming, but this is the first ad, and then it gets bigger from there.
Yeah, we actually get the actual full color ad eventually, which is nice.
Yeah. So, but that's battle systems. It's their foray into miniature. It's supposed. I remember it was being touted as the chainmail successor.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Meanwhile, little they know that this small thing called Warhammer that just started up was going to just smash them.
It's already smashing them because, again, in the near future, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for ads. Anything else anyone would like to wrap up with?
Nope. I think that covers everything. We had this nice long one because the next one's going to be pretty damn short. So prepare yourself.
I mean, it was pulling teeth in the next one.
Spoilers, I haven't read it yet.
Oh, no.
I hope you find a lot of ads for us to talk about.
So
I think I actually have ads. I don't think I have any articles.
Yeah. Wow. So let's mosey on out then, and then we'll get back next week to see everyone.
And don't think that the episode's going to be terrible because there's not a lot to talk about. We'll make fun of it enough that it'll be funny. So
yes, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything's okay. Everything's fine.
Everything's good. How are you?
Nothing to see here. Nothing good. So, all right. Well, do all the things. Click the bell. Subscribe. Like. Message us on the Facebooks. Request any songs that you would like to hear me and Jack sing. That's kind of a new thing. And geez, this was a long one. And so I do apologize to those who don't like the long episodes, but
I tried.
Couldn't be helped. All right, let's wrap it up. So for the Dragon's Tome, I've been your host, Chopper.
I'm Jack.
I'm Rob.
And we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you later.